Maybe you've heard this, maybe you've read it. It's not really connected unless you connect it with your fingers. It sounds musical, it sounds artistic. Yes, we want the music to flow and be smooth, but that does not mean that your hands have to hold everything down. In fact, trying to do that is one of the biggest tension traps in piano playing. Why should you listen to me? Well, I've spent nearly 5 decades refining fingering and technique with thousands of pianists, helping them play with more ease, control, expression. One of my students performed twice on NPR's From the Top, and I myself won a competition that led to me playing at Carnegie Hall, which was fantastic. In this video, I'll show you how thinking that the finger connection equals musical connection can lead to tension, awkward fingerings, and sometimes even injury. When you're tense, it's really hard to create a musical flow and have a nice sound. So I'm going to show you how to do that without forcing your body to do the impossible. And I'll share a story of a student who unlocked a hard passage by letting go of just exactly that belief. By the way, a lot of the fingerings out there are built around this belief, and that's why they feel so uncomfortable to play. If you want to stop fighting your hands and start playing with more ease, you need better fingering strategies. And I have put together a free guide to help with exactly that. It's called, catchy, Smart Fingering Strategies. And you'll find the link in the description and maybe on the screen. Really, the most harmful belief is that if you don't connect it with your fingers, it's not really legato. I heard a teacher tell one of my students that in a master class. I had warned him in advance. I said, if he tells you need to connect with your fingers, just nod your head and agree with him. And then later, when he's not around, you can do it the way that we worked on. This is a student that actually got to play on From the Top twice. Now, some music, it's better style anyway to let go. And I'm thinking specifically of the music of the Baroque period. It's very stylistic to not connect everything. Bach came back into vogue in the 19th century, and at that time, nobody knew anything about historic performance practices. And so all these fingerings that are in Bach editions from that time are very legato, and they have some unbelievable contortions in them. But if you let go and you create these lovely articulations, it makes the music so much more playable and so much easier. It's also true for classical music. Not everything is supposed to be legato. I'm talking Mozart, Haydn, Beethoven. And definitely in more jazz-inspired styles like ragtime, for sure, you're not playing everything legato in those. Those are inherently disconnected. One of the reasons people tell me that they're holding the notes down is they're afraid that they'll lose where they are, that they can't find how to get to the next note. I do have a playlist about that, helping yourself have a better sense of the geography of the keyboard. I'll link it on the screen. Basically, you have to develop that sense within yourself, we call it the proprioception, of what are the distances between the keys. And yeah, you might have to practice letting go and moving your hand to the next spot. You're never going to get good at playing it if you're constantly trying to stretch and open your hand. That's inherently tense. Musical flow is actually about phrasing. Well, what is phrasing? It's which notes are louder and softer, and are you doing something with the timing to create more sense of connection? And if you're in romantic style period, you would be doing more things with the timing than in the earlier styles. And manipulating those two things, the volume and the timing, is how you create the sense that the music is flowing or moving towards a certain point in the piece. And I made a long video about this, and I will put a card above me where you can go check it out. Let me show you what I mean. In this old short, I played the same passage 2 ways. Once trying to connect everything with my fingers, and once using a pencil and letting the pedal do the legato. Watch what happens. Which one do you think sounds more legato? Musically, the flow is still there, but physically, one of these approaches is way easier on the hands, and that's the letting go. This came up recently in my online community, Piano with Rebecca B. A member posted in the community asking for help with the fingering on a tricky passage. He was trying to connect everything and it just wasn't working. People suggested fingerings, and one person suggested a super stretchy option. It turned out her teacher had suggested that, but it still felt awkward. So I suggested something much simpler to him, playing the thumb on the black key and letting go in a couple places where it was too stretchy. Here's what the member had to say about it. The most comfortable fingering I could find was indeed yours, but I was still trying to make it legato, which was still possible for me but felt weird and uncomfortable. Considering that I can play it staccato will surely allow me to find my comfort in these passages. This kind of breakthrough where someone lets go of a long-held belief and suddenly the music opens up and becomes playable happens all the time in our group. If you want my expert help and a place to ask questions like this, come join us. If this helped reframe the way that you think about fingering, check out my free guide, Smart Fingering Strategies. It has 8 principles that can help you figure out comfortable fingerings that make passages feel easier right away, less tension. And if you want more support, my online community, Piano with Rebecca B, is open. You can get direct feedback from me on fingerings, and I also help members with how to prepare for performances and how to practice more efficiently. We meet live 3 times a month, and all the sessions are recorded so you can watch them later. You can try it free for 7 days. There's a link in the description. Thanks for watching.